Welcome to our rendition of Much Ado About Nothing Crash Course. Much Ado About Nothing is a play plagiarized by Shakespeare about a conflict between lovers when a mischievous bastard brother, Don John, attempts to ruin these relationships with his bump sidekick, Horatio. Throughout the story, multiple relationships take form, including Count Claudio and Hero, the governor of Messina's daughter. Don John targets his relationship because his brother, Don Pedro, supports the relationship. John despises Pedro because he won't be the successor of the king unless Pedro is killed. Another relationship that is just as important is the relationship that starts off with rude insults sent back and forth between Benedict and Beatrice. The two have had a prior relationship where Don Pedro wasn't willing to marry, so instead he just up and left her. Both are still bitter about this encounter, but that doesn't keep them apart. You may be wondering why I'm wearing these sunglasses. Well, that's because, as Shakespeare said many times throughout all of his plays, love is blind.
There are many important characters throughout the story that affect the outcome of the play. In our part, Act 2, Scene 3 specifically, the most important is Benedict, who is witty and vows to never marry and should die a bachelor. This aristocrat from Padua in northern Italy begins in the play appearing as he couldn't care less about Beatrice and her saint. Beatrice is the cousin of Hero and has no true father figure beside the uncle Antonio and Leonardo. To teach her ways to be a woman in the 17th century should act so she's quite sassy, firing back at Benedict unlike any woman at this time should have done. She is outspoken and sharp-tongued towards Benedict. Because of their expressions as a couple, before the play takes place, she also makes it seem as if she can't stand any part of Benedict. But truly, and it's just the opposite, and there's star-crossed lovers extremely reveal their true feelings they have for another.
In our part of Act 2, Scene 3, Benedict professes his love to Beatrice in a soliloquy where he says that he loves her out loud on stage by himself. Beatrice then enters, inviting him to dinner, and when he thinks that she really loves him, she doesn't, but he thinks that she's just being rude because he loves her, and she loves him. And this leaves Beatrice very confused because she is not sure why Benedict is acting the way he is around her.
Against my will, I bid you to come to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains.
I take no more pains for those things than you take pains to.
You take pleasure then in the message?
Yea, just as you take from upon a knife's point and choke a doll withal.
In Much Ado About Nothing, Shakespeare proves his ability to reverse gender roles in the way that Benedict and Beatrice interact.
During this time period, women were a lot less equal in value than men.
To Scene 3, lines 215 to 216, Beatrice says to Benedict, "Yea, just so much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a daw withal." In this time period, a woman would not be allowed to use a sarcastic tone like this towards a man. Lines 202 to 203, Benedict says out loud to himself, "Shall quips and sentences and these paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the career of his humor?" If it were a true 16th century relationship, he wouldn't wish to marry, he just would. Did you know that Shakespeare's wife was 26 years old and he was 18? That's an 8-year difference between them. That's a whole 20% of the life back then because the average age of living was 35 years old. She was also 3 months pregnant with his child. In Much Ado About Nothing, Benedict and Beatrice are well into their 20s, proving that Shakespeare didn't care about age in relationships in his real life and in the play.